Hi, this is Steve from Engage Systems, and today we're going to have a look at using custom maps in Einstein Analytics. We're going to create the GeoJSON files from scratch and import them into a new org and show you one, how to create them, two, how they work. First thing we need to do though, as this is a new development org, is we just need to give the user permission to upload and use these maps. So I'm just going to create a new permission set and just show you what needs to be enabled. So this is a system permission. And it's manage analytics custom maps. So if we just edit the permission set, and then finally just assign it to my user. And we are now good to go. So we're going to look at creating two different types of JSON file today. One is based on geographical location data, and the other one's going to be based on using a company logo and the effects we can get with that. So for the first one, where we're using actual geographical data, I'm going to use GeoJSON.io. I'm going to create a map of businesses in a local area in Milton Keynes. Specifically, we have a football stadium where MK Dons play, and there are various fast food restaurants and restaurants around there. So I'm just going to show you how we create this file, then how we take it into Salesforce. As this is a fresh org, I'm also going to be creating the data that we'll be looking at in Einstein Analytics, and the two go hand in hand. So first thing I'm going to do is just start creating the map. Okay, so you can see these coordinates which are drawing that map of the stadium. I now need something for Einstein Analytics to recognize in that file, so that when this is being selected, Einstein Analytics and the GeoJSON both talking the same language effectively. So I'm going to create a column called name, and I'm going to call this Stadium MK. And I'm going to create another column in a CSV file that we'll import into Einstein Analytics. And just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to do a couple of additional columns. So we'll make up a number for staff, and we'll make up a number for turnover. Okay, so MK Stadium going to say they've got 50 staff and 1,000 turnover. Okay. And then we're going to just continue to add the local businesses. You'll see as I do this, if we look back at the actual JSON file, you'll see each of these being added. So if we look back here, we can see this feature, Stadium MK, Polygon, and those are the coordinates for it. We've got a new feature here, which we haven't yet given a name for, but we can see their coordinates as well. So here we have Arena MK. We're going to say they've got a staff of 20 and a turnover of 500. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to populate this with the local businesses. I'm going to pause the recording for now. And once I've got this file ready, then we'll start again and we'll import it into Salesforce and have a look at it. But one other thing I'm just going to show you before I do that, I'm going to add some lines to this. These are not going to be selectable. These are effectively just going to be showing the local roads. And I'm doing this just to add context to the drawing, so that somebody who knows the area will make a bit more sense for. Okay. So when we come back, these businesses will also have been added and named, and some more of the roads. So now I've completed the GeoJSON. I've added the additional businesses and completed adding the roads. I've also updated the CSV file to include all the different features that are now on the map. So I'm just going to save this as a GeoJSON. That's saved for me there. I'm just going to save the CSV as well. Okay. So now we're going to upload the CSV file first of all, and then the GeoJSON to explore it. I'm just going to open Einstein Analytics. Create a data set from this CSV file. Just going to check that's got everything we need. Yep. So that's got all the lines of the CSV file. It's correctly recognising the name as a dimension and the staff and turnover as measures. So upload. So I wouldn't expect a CSV file of that size to take too long to upload, and that's been successful now. You can see it's got all the lines in. Okay, so now we're going to create a dashboard. Call this demo 1. First thing I'm going to do is have a couple of queries just based on the staff and turnover, just so we can see the data. Sum of turnover by company name for 1. Okay, so I'm just going to put these charts on. Those charts are working as normal and as you'd expect. Just going to save that. Okay, so now we're going to create the custom map. So we're using the same data set. We select map from the type of chart. There are a number of standard maps built in for EMEA region, world region. You can see one that's come up here. These are very good, and for a lot of business cases will be a great visualization for you. Obviously, if you need something more specific, that's where the custom maps come in that we're demonstrating today. So these are all the standard maps that are included. You can see there's one for EMEA, Western Europe, but not surprisingly there isn't one for a small area in Milton Keynes. So we're going to add a new map. I'm going to upload GeoJSON. Going to give them both a name so I recognise them, but you can see here's the map I drew earlier. Remove the legend. So you can see we have our map selectable based on the businesses. If I can have a look at new look there, I can see the turnover, sum of staff. I can select, you can see it's highlighted the McDonald's. If I highlight the KFC. If you wanted to create more distinction, this is effectively a heat map, so we've got similar data here, but this could be, you have high and low colours. So if we were looking at, say, turnover per square metre, for example, you could have darker colours representing the higher the rent charges were, for example. Also, if we look at the conditional formatting, so if you had something like this fixed, like a name, conditional formatting would make more sense. So we could do that via the name. And then if I put the legend back on, so you can see here, that makes even more sense. Okay. So what we've done there is through using GeoJSON.io and a small CSV file, we've created a custom map and presented it in Einstein Analytics. As you can see, it's a great way to visualize this sort of data. What we're going to do next is take something a bit more abstract, a company logo, and we're just going to follow through the steps you'd use to do something similar with that. This doesn't have to be geographical maps. You can have something abstract like a drawing. You can create your own. I'm going to use a company logo. Okay, so now we're going to look at the company logo. I've just downloaded an Adidas logo as a PNG. I'm going to open it in Inkscape. First thing I'm going to do is just save it as a DXF file, which is what we'll need to create the JSON from. And you'll see now if I open that DXF file that we've just created, if we were very lucky there would be a nice outline of the logo, but there is not, because Inkscape isn't able to distinguish between the different parts of the logo. So what we're going to do is we're going to help it by filling with various colours. So I'm going to fill in and I'm going to colour the letters. Not a colour scheme I'm recommending. However, it should allow the DXF file to be created properly. I'm going to save that now. Replace the file that didn't work. Now when we open the DXF, we can see that we've got the outline of the logo. Okay. So now I've got it as a DXF file. I need to convert it into a JSON. And to do that, I'm going to use this website. Convert that to GeoJSON. Okay, so these sets of coordinates is the map of that logo. Just going to check that the whole file's loaded. So now we have a file saved of the geometry of the logo. We're now going to open that in Map Shaper. So that's the file we've just created. And when I import it, you can see that it is the logo. So the first thing I need to do is turn this into polygons, and if we inspect the attributes now, you can see that each of these areas that's being highlighted is its own polygon or feature, but they have no information, they have nothing to link to in Salesforce. So what I'm going to do is create a name ID. Okay, so now we can see the top left is showing the name for this feature is null because I've not completed anything yet. So what I'm going to do is create selectable areas using different parts of these polygons, and then I'm going to match that up to my CSV file. Okay, so as this is Adidas, I think we're going to create the 3 sections as ball, and the number 50, and the price 10, maybe some shorts, the number 75, the price 8, and trainers, price 125, the number 60, call it 125. So if I select edit attributes, I can now go and change this value. So I'm going to start here with ball. Also going to call this ball and this ball. Next we're going to do the shorts. And finally we're going to do the trainers. Okay, I've now just dissolved these features. So originally we had 23 different features in the file. I've now taken that down to the 4, and if we inspect the attributes again, you should see that this is one section for these 3 polygons called ball. This is another one for shorts. It's another one for trainers. We could also have the center of the letters as part of this grouping, but for now I've left it as a null. So now that's all prepared, I'm going to just double check I've got my spellings the same, if not correct. Same capitals. Okay, so I'm now going to export this as a GeoJSON. Okay, so we've got logo.json in the downloads. So I'm going to go back to Einstein Analytics. Just save that demo. The developer orgs for Einstein Analytics are about 30 days, so I doubt I'll be coming back to that, but you never know. In fact, I'm just going to create the new data set, CSV file. Okay, not sure why that's not picked up on the trainers. I'm just going to try saving it again. Demo 2. Okay, so the trainers were there. I was forgetting you can scroll, so that's fine. I'm just going to hit upload now. I should remember that. Gotcha, I've seen that before. You normally work with large data sets, so it's never really an issue, apart from if you're doing a little demo like this with only a few lines and the box resizes. So that's already uploaded. 23 seconds for a free line CSV. Not surprised that it was that quick. Okay, so now we're going to create a new dashboard, which we'll call Demo 2. Just the same as before. I'm just going to create a couple of queries. And one more for sum of price. By name. Okay, let's add these two on. Okay, so now we're going to do the final query, which is the logo we started with in Inkscape. See, when I go to open the maps, that the MK Stadium one we were looking at earlier is there. So now we've got the logo JSON, which is the file we saved from Map Shaper, where we'd added the attributes and grouped the different polygons as we wanted to use them. Logo. Okay, there we have our logo file. Call that logo. Rather than just have count of rows because they're all one, we're going to do price because there's some variance there. Just take off the legend. And you can see we can pick through each of these sections. If we go to shorts, central section here lights up. If we come off shorts and click on the first section, which represents ball in this case, you can see it adjusts as you'd expect. Now again, if we just have a quick look at the conditional formatting, you'll see that you can control the low and high colours. So if you were working with a logo and you wanted to bring the colour schemes in line, you could do. You can also set bins, so if this was, say, a departmental customer service score, or sales teams and where they were against target or something like that, you could have the visual representation built in very easily. So there we have a custom map GeoJSON file created from scratch from a logo that was downloaded as a PNG. We took it into Inkscape, converted it to a DXF, made some changes to make that DXF file make a bit more sense. We've then generated the JSON file, saved it, taken it into MapShaper to work on where we want the features to be, and naming them and IDing them. And we then brought that into Einstein Analytics and presented it on a dashboard. And we also did a more standard map of an actual location, Milton Keynes. You can see how this could be used for almost any purpose. Often with the dashboard designs, it's a question of a bit of imagination, but also what works, what's a useful visualization. It's very easy that there are a huge number of charts and maps and visualizations available, and picking the right ones that convey the information simply to your end users, that make them want to dive into that data and explore it. That's a real key to success. But hopefully here this gives you an idea of one of these tools that you can use, and how simple it is to create them and get them into Einstein Analytics. If you have any questions or interesting projects you're working on, please let us know in the comments below, and there'll be some more tutorial videos on some different aspects of Salesforce and Einstein Analytics uploaded soon. Thank you.